Is it just me, or has woke culture gone way too far? From social media to the evening news, each trend seems more confusing than the last. Where's the line? In this video, we dive into the chaos and controversy shaking everyone up. Get ready for some hard-hitting truth.
If you don't mind me asking, how much do you weigh?
Look, I'm not going to talk about numbers because the thing is, I
think you should. I mean,
no. The thing is, if I give you the number of how much I weigh, it's going to be all over the Sun, all those trashy newspapers tomorrow morning. I don't need it. Don't need it.
Well, you don't need it. You're on TikTok every day showing us how big you are.
Yeah, and look,
and you're proud of it.
No. There's a difference. There's proud, and then there's just being positive in my own skin, and that's what I am.
Right.
I'm not proud to be fat.
Would you accept that by medical definition you are morbidly obese?
Look, if that's what medically you want to call it, then call it.
Well, no, you know your weight, I don't.
No. But that's, yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
Right, so here's my issue with this body positivity thing. People shouldn't be celebrating being morbidly obese, in my estimation.
But that's
because actually it is a dangerous condition that causes many people to die.
Look, you've got a fair point. It is dangerous. It can lead to dangerous issues, which could, diabetes and so on. And that is an issue. But we don't encourage gaining weight. There's a difference between the videos you just showed on the screen.
Come on,
what we're
George,
talking about now.
You're doing this. These TikToks are all geared to you.
No. You're showing people encouraging eating food. I'm just saying, wow, look at the pizza. Look, it's from Costco. It's nice.
No, you're not. You're not. You are. Sorry, George.
That's what I'm doing.
You are glorifying scoffing.
It's called taking the piss. That's what it is.
Well, maybe.
That's what it is. It's having a laugh and not taking yourself too seriously.
Why is it funny?
Because it is funny. You know it is funny.
It's
you had a little
funny.
smirk yourself before.
I actually don't find this kind of thing funny. I think
come on.
I actually think it's quite sad.
It's not sad. It's comedy.
Let me bring him.
It's satire comedy.
Well, maybe.
You know it is. You know it is. You know it is, Piers. I've been an actor for 13 years.
George.
So apparently the body positivity is forgetting the scale and pretending it's confidence. Strange. Also celebrate the body, but only if we can forget the number. And let's treat eating pizza like it's something we have to be proud of, because joking about being very overweight makes it good. I think this joke is on those who find such people and say this.
Bring in Riz, who's chuckling away because you find all this terribly amusing. Riz, you supported Just Stop Oil. No one at Wimbledon today supports Just Stop Oil. They just think you're a bunch of idiots. I know you weren't there today. You were shouting at the Royals up in Scotland. Why do you support this kind of protest that we're seeing at all these sporting events?
Oh, I'm not sure I've completely condoned that. And to be clear, I'm not speaking on behalf of Republic today. I speak on behalf of No More Royals. But absolutely, we are protesting in Scotland. And Piers, you've just been going on at these guys at Just Stop Oil about why are you disrupting ordinary people and why don't you target the right thing? And we've been doing that, shouting at the king.
Why do you support that method of protesting? Why don't you come out and condemn Just Stop Oil like Trevor Nielsen, who was funding some of this stuff before, has suddenly realised the penny's dropped, it doesn't work?
I'd like to talk about coronation because it's but to respond to that question, we're in a climate crisis. It's horrifying. I'm terrified for my future, and Just Stop Oil are one of the only groups of people at the moment who are doing anything about that. But as I say, I'd like to focus on the issue.
Well, I'm sure you would. I'd like to focus on what's just happened because it's indicative of a summer of protest by people who think that they can convert people to their cause. Even if people are inclined to do so, we're now at a point where you can tell from the audience reactions at these events, they literally want to garrote them. And what worries me is it is going to lead to bad situations if this carries on, because people are just going to take the law into their own hands.
Sorry, that's stupid. Sorry, I
you don't have to keep swearing, Riz, with respect.
Do you want to talk about the protest?
Riz,
yeah,
you don't have to keep swearing.
Do you want to talk about the protest, or do you want to say that protests shouldn't happen and we should all suck it up and deal with it? Because that's easy for you, right? Like, you've been dealt a pretty good hand.
I believe in peaceful protest.
But I actually care.
I believe in peaceful protest.
So do you want to talk about the peaceful protest today?
I believe in peaceful protest. I don't believe in wrecking ordinary people's lives as they're going to work, as they're going to hospital, as they, on some occasions, going to funerals. I don't think that when they pay for sporting events that they maybe save money for all year long.
That's fine, because neither Republic or No More Royals did that today. I'd love to talk about that.
They shouldn't have it ruined by a bunch of...
Let's talk about it. There was Republic up at one end who were A massive crowd, far bigger than any of the monarchists. I mean, the streets are pretty much empty. I haven't had a chance yet to look at any of the coverage, but I think you'll see that because there is pretty much nothing going on the monarchist end, and the Republic demo is enormous. And then there's No More Royals, who did a banner drop, chanting, can I swear? I just did. The king, feed the hungry, because that's what we want to talk about, right?
You know what?
This
you know
is
what, Riz? For a
outrageous.
very,
They've done this.
you know what, Riz? For a bright young woman who's getting a very good, expensive education, you do behave like a complete foul-mouthed idiot. You don't do yourself any favours. Why do you think coming on a show like this and just repeatedly using the F word, why do you think that makes you look any better?
Yeah, I did apologise for that.
You've
I
done
did
it 3
apologise for that
times.
in advance, but
3 times.
that was what we said.
3
Okay,
times.
Yeah, F the king. Yeah, I'm happy to.
RZ protests against the king, but tries not to bother regular people. So it's okay to go after the royals, but not the everyday commuters? I suppose that makes sense. The smart idea is to block roads, interrupt games, and shout in public, because yes, that will surely make people support your cause. Just Stop Oil might need to change their name to Just Stop Annoying Everyone.
It's not an invalid argument, Amelia, that there, you know, in all sport, you're going to get some people who are physical freaks, if for want of a better phrase, like Michael Phelps, who literally could do this, and it's normally the same as your height or something, isn't it, the span? And he had 6 inches extra and massive hands, right? Obviously can help him, and huge feet, I think, as well. What's your response to that argument?
But biologically, they're still the sex that they're competing against. You know, at the end of the day, reducing a testosterone level is not going to cut it, because women are so much more than a testosterone level. You know, physiologically, you know, periods, whole other discussion.
Well, that is certainly not
and
to be.
You know, what,
yeah.
like we're so much more than a testosterone level. So just reducing a testosterone level, at the end of the day, I mean, it's not going to change the physiological differences, because a lot of these people too are, you know, they're training as a male athlete for a long period of time before transitioning, so they're having
and
that
it's things
higher
like
testosterone
lung
level.
capacity as well. All these things which you get after, you know, having gone through puberty. They're real things which give most trans athletes an immediate biological advantage. That's my problem. The other half of this is what if they don't compete against women born to female bodies, what happens to trans athletes? Now, I think there's one of 2 things you can do. Either they compete against their biological sex, which most of them have done anyway for many years, actually never as successfully
And they
as
wouldn't
they
have
do
to
when they compete
reduce
against women,
their
which I think is
levels.
the argument right there. Or you create an entirely new category. There are more and more, as you said, at grassroots level, you create an entirely new category for trans athletes to compete against other trans athletes.
Well, my starting point is there shouldn't be a blanket ban on all trans athletes. There should be individual assessment. So where there are issues raised...
That's never going to work, is it?
Well, no, of course it can.
You can't make it one, you know, person by person by person by person. You can't.
Well, there are not that many trans athletes overall, and it's quite feasible.
Actually, there are more and more of them.
Well, there are, but there's still a very...
There's already 13 in elite athletics.
Really?
DSD athletes.
So 13 elite. You see, what my issue with it is, they're going to start breaking women's records irrevocably. Because, I mean, Leah Thomas won 1 race against females, that's, you know, just from point of the argument, females, by 50-odd seconds. I mean, it was ridiculous.
And they couldn't
then
do
at
that
the
as a
podium,
man.
towers over these. I mean, this podium picture, you can't. No one can be happy about that.
Yeah.
That is clear advantage.
I-
for a
It seems that fair competition now means setting records by a lot, thanks to biological benefits. Sure, let's just overlook that and create new categories for everything. Soon, sports will need a chart just to keep up.
Well, Jaylene Cheney made global headlines this weekend after claiming fat people are entitled to extra seats on planes because they're so fat. She said all plus-sized passengers should be provided with an extra free seat, or even 2 or 3 seats, depending on their size, to accommodate their needs and ensure their comfort during the flight. Well, look, Jaylene, you can have your extra seat, you can have 10 extra seats, but you've got to pay for them. Why should you be entitled to special treatment, raising the cost of travel for everybody else because you're obese? Maximum self-entitlement, 0 self-accountability. Free seats for fat flyers, Esther. The idea that the more obese you get, the fatter you become, the more free seats you're entitled to on a plane. It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, the lady in the video who was saying it, she was probably the size of the plane that she wanted to fly. Look, the reality is, we've always seen, debates online about whether, if you need a seatbelt extension, you should really buy 2 seats because you're spilling over into the other person's seat. And airplanes are designed to basically tin you like sardines, right? So the idea that someone else should pay for the fact that she's obese is quite frankly...
Oh yes, because airplane seats are roomy. Buy 2 or 3 extra seats and spread out. It's good for everybody, isn't it? The newest trend in flying is that you can get as big as you want, and those extra seats are yours for free. Who knew feeling entitled meant getting extra leg room? Okay, now I want to hear from you. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's have a real conversation. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell.